Starting to look like a Polaris dealer out here. Oh, wait. There is a Polaris dealer here. We're up here at Tug Hill. It is probably the most snow I've seen in quite some time, and we have just a plethora of sleds here. We have everything from a 19-600 Axis XCR, right? 20, sorry. I believe Fudd's is a 21 Pro S switchback. And then we have Dynamix, standard naturally aspirated 850. Jer Sled's a 21, 850. Pat's a 23 boost. Then we have Bruce's 25 XCR with the 862 motor in it. And then my boost dynamic. So we have a plethora of sleds. We got a bunch of good riders here, and we have really good snow. So we are going to try and tie a bunch of videos into this. Bruce is only here for a limited time, unfortunately. I know he's got to go and run that dealership. But this video is going to be dedicated to the Dynamix. I know I did a video review. I now have 950 or so miles on it. How many do you have on yours, Bruce? I think there's like 400 or 500 on it.
Yeah, just under 500.
Yeah, so we're going to go out and do some riding. We're all going to kind of switch around and do some sled hopping. And then we're going to do a video on kind of what we think and where we're at with these sleds and kind of our, I want to say mid-season. It feels like we're at the end of the season because we've been doing so much riding. But we're going to do some reviews. Bruce getting a call. An important guy. And, but yeah, so that's going to be this video. We're going to try and incorporate a couple other ones and bring you guys some more info. But that's it for now. We'll probably do some GoPro videoing and then do an actual video of what we think. All right, so we are back. It's unfortunately raining out at this exact moment, but we went out and we did 90 miles. We have Jer here. Jer rode the other one all day. Bruce ran. We kind of all bounced around. So pretty much, I've told you guys, this is the best stock sled I ever rode in my entire life, and we all stand by that. Bruce has ridden everything that Polaris has ever made, like period, just across the board from 1910 to now.
I missed that year.
Yeah, no, oh, sorry, 1911, and until now, and it is just definitely the best stock sled that I've ridden, Bruce has ridden, and Jer's ridden for that matter. Jer's been kind of all over the board. So anyway, so we didn't tell you guys at the beginning of this video, but this sled isn't 100% stock. So as you know, we are the suspension channel. We rode this. I gave you my honest opinion on it. Bruce agreed. Jer agreed. It was, just like I said, the best stock sled that we've ever ridden, hands down, without touching anything. Not a spring change, not a valving change, not a nothing change. It was perfectly just good. And after 600 miles or so, we decided we're going to make a little bit of a calibration change on my sled, along with a spring change in the front and the rears. Mm-hmm. So pretty much what we did 100-pound springs up front, which is our normal go-to. They came with 80 pounds, which is just your typical XC VR1 type deal. We put 100-pound springs, a half-inch of preload up front.
Yep.
Just to get the front of that nose up a little bit, get a little bit of the track off the ground. Just see what it did. That was a big plus. It was all positive feedback, not really any negative feedback per se. And then in the rear, we went to just a single rear spring change to a trap spring, which we've talked about before, but Bruce will kind of get into what that is.
Yeah, this sled comes with HDs like we are all used to, except this one has a little less preload in any of the Dynamics. So we went with one spring. An HD is a 13 pound per degree. We changed one spring to a 14.5 pound per degree spring. Still low preload like that. So it just gave it just a little bit more through the center. So, and kind of anti-bottom, help it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So just to get a little bit more, I mean, and I'm a cookie monster these days, as Bruce calls me, and I have, big bag in the back, which all plays into what we do. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're carrying a bag, a gas can on the back. That's all something that goes into what our setups kind of call for. So we now have 3 of us that have ridden all of them, and we jump back and forth between the 2 of them kind of all day today. And what do we got? I mean, Jared, we'll start with Jared.
Well, first off, thanks to Bruce for letting me ride it for the last 2 days. And yeah, it's night and day difference. Like when you go from one sled to the other sled back to back, like not talking about it, just jump off one sled and get on another sled, you instantly see the difference in the 2, actually difference in all 3 of the sleds that we have. They're all different. And the Dynamix is something, I consider myself a pretty aggressive trail rider, and you can push it through the bumps, which that was what I was real like hesitant about. I was like, what's this thing gonna do? How's it know a big bump's coming up? And how's it gonna know there's another big bump? But you can literally grab a handful, and as you're going through the bumps, you can actually tell that it is increasing
Stiffness and valving.
and it's not to the point where it wants to kick you. I tried to make it kick me all day today, even though a lot of the stuff we rode today was groomed and nice and flat. But the rough sections that were there, I honestly was like, I want this thing to f up, and it didn't. And it's very it's just really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's super smooth. You know, we talked kind of all day, and it's very plush through just the tiny little chatter bumps. But then when you get into the little bit of bigger, which again we kind of lacked today, but we've ridden enough of them that we know it handles the bigger bumps, and it's super. What word am I looking for? It's going to do the same thing every single time.
The braking bumps into a corner or the acceleration bumps out of a corner, it's night and day from a stock skid.
Right.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this snow was really hard because we got a little bit of moisture in it, and then it got cold. So it was a really good. If you're going to get a kicker, that's when you're going to get.
Oh
that
yeah,
kicker.
especially
And in some of the sections that were there, they were there.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't do that. So it's pretty remarkable. And the Jesse's is the boost. Mine is a natural aspirated, and I didn't change the rear springs in mine. And again, with this stuff here, where it was small chatter, you didn't notice. You know, mine was definitely a little tiny plusher. That's all.
Yeah, just little hair.
That's all.
Hair plusher.
But when you went into the stuff that went to G out, yours it definitely helped
worked
that.
better, right? And again, we did a spring change and a calibration change on the rear shock in this, so this should be a little bit better in the bigger bumps for what we did.
Yeah.
But as far as again, just Dynamix to a standard valved, we'll go Pat Sled right here, which is a 23 VR1 boost. So this is a 23, same exact sled, same geometry, same rear suspension. The only difference is the shocks in this. And we did, we jumped from sled to sled to sled. I mean, kind of all day today and a little bit and yesterday, and it just works. Yeah. Everyone that got on it, it's like, this is just the best riding sled. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Yeah. Doesn't matter what kind of snow conditions you're in. It just works, period. And it really does.
Yeah. And mine has a stock Polaris skis and 8 inches of regular round carbide that comes on a stock XCR, because we had wore out the 4 inches there. It's turned good even with the 4 inches, but we wore them out on the roads up here last time. So I put 8 inches on it because why not? But still small bar, because I didn't want to give it. I wanted to make it still more like stock, just with a little extra wear factor. And even today, when that wishy-washy stuff, where the groomer had groomed and it was a little loose on top, that thing would plant that outside ski. Yeah,
it just drive right around. Yep. Yeah, which is impressive. And it didn't, again, with that, you're not increasing any steering effort.
Right.
Again, with CNAs, we love CNAs. We run them on everything. But you get a little bit of increased steering effort from you as a rider. Yep. Does it turn better? Yes, it turns better. But, we're trying to just see what you guys are feeling as a stock sled. And they're really, really good. And it's only going to get better from here. I mean, the more time that we get on them and the more that we mess with them, it's only just going to go up from here. And, this is, I would call it a mid-season review, which, I mean, technically speaking...
We still got 7 weeks left.
Yeah, which, I mean, technically speaking, we are at mid-season, even though the groundhog just saw a shadow, did see a shadow.
Yeah, one did, one didn't. I don't know who's who, but I'm believing the one that did.
So. Yeah, so we still have some time to to kind of mess around with these a little bit more, you know, as much as that we can, and see if we can get them any better. But they are very, very good. I mean, it's hard to beat. I raced, I don't know when this is going to go live. I raced, I'm going to call it last weekend, which you guys are probably going to see that video too. I raced all day on the 600 cross country race sleds, kind of two totally different setups. Long story short, the end of the day, I took out Bruce's 850 Dynamix sled just to plot the course for the owner of the circuit. And it was so good. I mean, again, I ran, you know, almost.
There was a lot of snow on the lake.
Right,
so
there was a lot of snow. It wasn't just an ice race. There was snow, there was chop, there was bumps, there was icy corners. I mean, it did everything that you could ask it to do, and it's a full-blown trail sled. Nothing. I mean, totally stock from Polaris with studs, Woody's studs and Woody's carbides. That's it. And I mean, it works so good, and it's so plush when it needs to be, but it's also firm when it needs to be. So I mean, it's not just me saying it. It's Jer, it's Bruce, it's Pat and Greg on the inside too. That they all rode it, and everyone is just completely blown away with it. And it's pretty much what I said earlier in the season, and it's just so good. So kudos to Polaris and their engineering department and Fox for putting this all together and creating the best stock trail sled all of us have ever ridden in our entire lives. So it is starting to really rain right now. So I'm gonna put these sleds away, and we're gonna go inside and not get completely soaking wet. But that's gonna do it for this video, unless you guys got anything else.
No, we're good. We'll come up with the next stuff that we are.
See you next week.
Yeah, we got more coming. Aside from this rain right now, snow looks, snow is really good, as you can see just by looking. But it's going to get cold again. That's going to do it. What do you say, Jared? Come on.
Bruce is going to ride the 26s, and we're jealous.
Yeah. Oh, that is also
weeks, yeah.
That is also true. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.